Oh, damn it, I dropped my little glass of milk.
That's okay, Cheeber. You can suck the milk right back up into your mouth and spit it wherever you want because it's Cartoon Therapy Tuesday and we're here to talk about intuition. I have a question for everybody in the chat. Rate your relationship with your own intuition out of 10. 10 being you hear your intuition, you live by your intuition. 1 being you don't really listen to it. You have a hard time understanding and discerning what your intuition even is. Sometimes we can confuse anxiety with intuition. We can confuse fear with intuition. It's a very complicated thing. Nobody Owen 7, Haley 5, Gnomes 8, Romedy Cobb 9, Bellator 9, Speedpunk 69, lol. 11 out of 10, we ride a wave of energy daily for Derp Jesus. 7 for Sus. I think I'd probably say 7 for me too. 8 for Crazy Haired Girl. Used to be lower. Graham Boy says the only intuition I have is my student loan debt intuition. Am I right? 9 being in touch with my intuition, but 3 I never listen, says yesterday's Jude. Few people are saying I can hear my intuition, but I'm just not in touch with it, or I can hear it and I'm in touch with it in that sense, but I don't choose to listen. TC with the 9, I would have guessed high for you, TC. I feel like a lot of people doubt my feelings. Lemon Curb, I bet you a lot of us will relate to this. I feel like I had a lot of people doubt my feelings when I was a kid, and it's kind of messed with my intuition in terms of how much you trust it. Chat, a lot of us are saying 9s and 7s, so I'm curious, how would you explain what your intuition is? It's sort of a nebulous concept in mental health sometimes because almost in nature, it's harder to put to words than other things like that we would normally sit here and talk about, right? There's not so much of a tangible, easy science or logical structure of language to encompass what intuition truly means, in my opinion. And so sometimes it feels a little woo-woo to even talk about, but it's really, really important. Yesterday's Jude says a gut feeling, but typically first thought feeling, then self-doubt and other complexities intrude. So yesterday's Jude, I agree with this. I think that gut feeling can sometimes be that initial feeling of knowing before we start analyzing and bringing in logic and experience and scrutiny and criticism and judgment and fear and all the other stuff that our reflexive monkey minds can sometimes squirt and bust and jizz all over that initial intuitive feeling. And from this point onward, Cartoon Therapy is a family show. I apologize deeply for the language that I just used, and we are going to proceed in a family-friendly manner for the rest of 2025. Thank you so much. Enemy Mouse says, I think it's because intuition and doubt come through on the same abstract pathway. Really good wording for it. So I divide my total intuition into useful and not useful, kind of using the discernment there. The place I had to get to was inviting being wrong and being humble enough to accept that when it happens, the place I had to get to, so mentally, was inviting being wrong and being humble enough to accept it when it happens. Accept it when it happens. Because now I can confidently stride with my intuition and I feel so much better about it. So for TC, like basically coming to terms with sometimes being wrong, accepting that you don't need to be right all the time, has given you the freedom to kind of like Shadow the Hedgehog on those little razor shoes to kind of glide along your intuition. Am I getting it? Because you don't have to scrutinize it too much. If you're wrong, you're wrong.
I'm the shrimp president, baby.
Thank you, Juice Springsteen, for the shrimp president kind of chiming in there, really adding a lot to the conversation. In my years of social work school, I didn't have very many professors that I thought were particularly profound. But one of them, one of my favorite ones, was my favorite because she emphasized the importance of intuition in our work. We had been used to studying basically the book of how to be a good therapist, more or less. Tons of textbooks that explain how you do different behavioral types of therapy and how you speak to someone and what validation means. And there was great information in social work school, all great information. But what I would say is sometimes it took the humanity out of the experience. And I had this one professor my senior year who drew a circle on the board. And she says, if this is your circle of comfort based on the knowledge you've accumulated, based on the skills and the language you've accumulated to be a good therapist, I want you to practice being over here. And then she drew a dot outside of the circle. She proceeded to give us therapy simulations in our class where she would sit on the other end of like a two-way mirror, and she would bring in master's degree students who would pretend to be clients. And we had to have like a simulated, they had a fake backstory and stuff, and we had to have these simulated therapy exercises, which were a lot of fun. And we were graded based on how well we flowed with our own intuition. And I thought that was a really cool way to teach a class. Really cool way to teach a class. It wasn't about robotic, hello, how are you? How many of you have had a therapist that is a little too by the book and it ruins or spoils what maybe could have been a rapport, a more authentic rapport between the two of you? To hit a 1 in the chat if you've ever had a therapist that is very like, hello, I am this person. Okay, I am hearing this. I think that. I think this. Do you think your mother caused that? Is it your mother's fault? Is it your father's fault? Beep, bop, bop, bop. Do you hate yourself? Do you hate your mother? Do you hate your father? Am I your mother? Am I 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 your father? I had a therapist ask, do you laugh to hide the pain? That is yeah. If you have a therapist asking that like pretty early on, that's kind of that's like an equivalent of someone you're dating saying like, let me kiss you in the places you hate the most. I once heard Spooky Little Spirit talking about that on her show, and that really stuck with me because I feel like I used to be that guy. Where's my thing at? There we go. Let me kiss you in the places you hate the most. Some of these just cringe kind of responses. Therapists can be cringe too. And if you don't know that, welcome to cartoon therapy. Don't you think therapists should learn the foundations, but then do more intuition and also create and furnish and design spaces that engage people more? Like you went to school. Why are they not teaching more about how to engage people and create spaces? Unfortunately, the first answer that comes up for me there is apathy and money. I think it became clear to me, I was talking about this during our art show over the weekend. It became clear to me that it's hard to teach intuition, and it takes a particularly engaged professor to go there. Like in order to teach about intuition, you have to be intuitive. You have to be dialed in to your own emotional experience. And a lot of professors don't, unfortunately, not necessarily just in social work, but a lot of professors want to make a PowerPoint and then go watch Netflix, right? That's the reality. You have to really maintain a certain level of passion in order to teach intuition because you can't just skim through it. We had somebody in our class ask a question that I think is very important. What's the difference between intuition and all of my shit falling off of my table? What's the difference between intuition and anxiety? Somebody asked, how do I know the difference between my intuition and my anxious thoughts? Because when you hone in and you really think about it, I think that's an adequate question to ask. Sometimes you think, I've got a gut feeling of fear. I'm supposed to get on an airplane and I have a gut feeling of fear. Is that my intuition, or do I have flight anxiety? Sometimes I'm going to go to a social setting and be around a bunch of people at a party, and I have fear about going. Is it because I have this intuitive sense that something or someone at the party is bad, or do I have social anxiety? Graham Boy Color says, I once had a therapist who in our first and only session really tried to convince me he knew the guy that wrote the Super Mario theme and described some dude who absolutely wasn't him and just some guy that lived in the US. That's an amazing story. Which scholastic track do you follow to hit clients with a bat? Asks Slickwaddle. That would be the cartoon therapy scholastic track. Isn't anxiety and fear a part of intuition? The don't go in that door factor that horror movie characters always lack. This gets very complicated. Some might say yes, but I don't like saying yes because it makes it really difficult to tease apart what intuition is from anxiety. So, with a little bit of self-awareness of that fact, I like to think that intuition is a knowing from within, and anxiety is like a scanning of your exterior. It's like anxiety has stuff to do with out there. Intuition is quieter and deeper and within here. I've got a way that I like to use in my own life as a social worker and as just a person. I've got a way I like to use in my own life to talk about the difference between intuition and anxiety. And it comes from reading I did from Dr. Nicole LaPera, the holistic psychologist. And she talks about intuition being at its most powerful when your nervous system is regulated. She kind of says a dysregulated nervous system creates a internal situation where it's hard to even hear your own intuition. Now, what does a dysregulated nervous system mean? More or less, if you're involved in a lot, if you're kind of in a lot of coping mechanism type cycles that aren't so conscious, if you're not doing any type of practice that gets you in touch with your body, if you don't feel a stillness of mind, if you're always feeling like a mental buzz, if you're jittery, if you're reflexive, if you're living in what might be identified as like a survival mode or a heightened state of hyper-awareness, these are signs that your nervous system is maybe in a state of dysregulation. Neon Sock says, I struggle with intuition because sometimes it feels like it's being driven by paranoia or anxiety. It's hard to know how far you can trust it when it's really applicable or when it's really applicable to a situation. This is why I align with what Dr. Nicole LaPera says, the holistic psychologist, because you think about it like she almost describes it as like intuition is the little reward for achieving a regulated nervous system. When we're really feeling present, when we're feeling in our bodies, she says it's very body based. So does Dr. Gabor Mate, my personal king, child trauma specialist, or child physician and trauma specialist, child trauma specialist and physician. An underrated part of how to hone your intuition is how your relationship is with your body. And this is something I work on more regularly now that we're hitting 2025. If you want a regulated nervous system, you've got to feel like you're in touch with you. You know what I mean? How could it be anything else? If I don't feel like I'm in my body, if I'm constantly dissociated from my body and I'm living reflexively, Dr. Nicole LaPera would say you almost can't even hear. She, I think, would say you cannot hear your intuition when your nervous system is dysregulated. It's only from that kind of internal, peaceful place, or at least an internal quiet place, that we can hear that inner sense of knowing. And while there may be gray areas to that, and it's not always so black and white, I like using that as a kind of a differentiator between intuition and anxiety. If I'm wondering whether or not it's paranoia or intuition, a way that I can analyze which one it is might be to check in with myself and say, is my nervous system feeling regulated or dysregulated? Am I feeling anxious and buzzy and reflexive? And am I playing out a bunch of fucked up coping mechanisms? Or do I feel very conscious and quiet and deliberate? And if it's the second one, or more like the second one, I think what we're dealing with is intuition. And if it's the first one, it's paranoia. Apple's Dragon says, that makes a lot of sense. The one time my intuition serves me in life is doing the couple physical activities I have a lot of practice doing. Chris says, here's a question. A person cannot just always base shit off their intuition. So then what? While intuition can play a valuable role in decision making, it isn't always the best source of truth. There are many situations where it can lead you astray or even be manipulated by others. Is intuition something that can be learned? And I'm going to marry that question with what Chris Mack is saying with sometimes your intuition isn't always right. I don't know if I would say intuition in concept can be learned or unlearned. That feels a little too esoteric for me. But I think our relationship to our intuition can be strengthened by our own regulation of our nervous system and our practice of using it almost despite the outcome. It'll sharpen and hone it as time goes on. At least that's what it does in my experience. A good bit of intuition is probably picking up on subtle behavioral cues without rationally realizing it, and also in a way that isn't hypervigilant, But I agree with you, Mom Boy. As we talk about honing and sharpening our intuition, I have a game for us to play today that I think may or may not, parentheses, it won't, help us sharpen our intuition. The giveaways have been popping off, but I'm going to do my own giveaway of, I don't really know of what yet, a mug or fucking something. If we all play nicely in the upcoming first of its kind intuition game here on Cartoon Therapy. A lot of us are talking about how do we practice honing our intuition? How do we practice listening to our gut feelings? Well, there is a murder mystery that we're going to play today that may or may not, parentheses, it won't, help you hone in your intuition. No Heels says, I'll take a butterscotch if you're giving one away. No Heels, get up nice and close to the computer. I am giving away a butterscotch. You want to see what it looks like, you motherfucker? There is a Cam Clam sticker being given away. If you don't know who that is, he is a clam who is dead. I don't really know how else to say it. He's a shirtless clam man who died from a fucking car crash. And we had his funeral, and it was really dark. Speaking of funerals, the Beatles are dead. All four of the Beatles, John, Paul, Sartre, and Ringo, are dead. And we need the help of you and your intuition, your gut feelings, to help solve the murders. This is going to be a game where you look basically at two suspects for a few rounds, because there's four Beatles. So for 4 rounds, we're going to look at one suspect and then another suspect. And using your intuition, honing in on your gut feeling, you tell me who the murderer is. Now, here's the kicker. If you get all 4 correct, if you guess all 4 correct, I will be doing a giveaway. If you get even one wrong, I'm ending Cartoon Therapy forever, dude. Forever. Forever. Is Norbert the Leprechaun one of the suspects? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. Have you got the answers right? Have you got the answers right this time? Ponder, be careful, my friend. We're going to show an image of one character and then an image of another. So all we need is their names and say who did it, and then this character's name or this character's name. I'm so excited. I can't wait to find out who murdered the Beatles. Now, here's the thing, folks. I myself am not a detective, but Cartoon Therapy does have a detective. Does anyone remember the name? Has anyone been here long enough to remember the name of an old detective friend here in Cartoon Therapy that might be involved with this murder mystery of the Beatles? Does anyone remember his name? Inspector Gadget. Grim Lynn is technically a detective, but the original detective is Dip Shittington. Folks, can you join me, please, in welcoming back Detective Dip Shittington?
Hello, everybody. Detective Dip Shittington here, from the dipshit detective agency. I'm obsessed with this, says TC. Well, there's nothing to be obsessed with, it's fucking murder. There's nothing to be obsessed with, it's fucking murder, Tease. We're talking about murder.
Hey,
this is
brother,
life and
you
death.
know I love you, baby,
Oh,
but
Jesus
I gotta
Christ.
take a piss. I'm so sorry.
Oh,
Hang on a
Jesus
second.
Christ. Please stop pissing in the... Please. Please.
Sorry, brother.
Please. Please don't piss in the...
sorry, my brother.
Please, that's...
I know.
Wait, that's the evidence.
I'm
That you're
sorry.
pissing on the evidence. You're pissing on the evidence.
I'm sorry.
You're
there's
pissing
more.
all over the... The Beatles have been murdered. And we are going to go through each suspect one by one in a series of 4 polls. All 4 Beatles have been killed. Which ones? I'll tell you which ones right now. You see them right here, folks. John on the left, John, Paul, Sart, and fucking Ringo. Now here's the story. Here's the skinny, everybody. Each one of the Beatles was killed in the exact same manner, with a knife to the back. And believe it or not, despite the fact that each one of them was killed in the exact same way. Okay. Okay. Despite the fact that they were each killed in the exact same way, we have it on high authority that each one was killed by a different person. So listen up. If you're a detective, if you give a half a fuck, you need to dial in on this. So we're going to need to go down one by one, each Beatle.
Chinese food.
No, thank you. I don't need Chinese food. No, thank you. I'm not hungry right now. Thank you very much. Some Manson shit. Is it a cult thing? It may be a cult thing. It may be a cult thing, Slickwaddle. That's complicated, says X21. That's not how John died. Speed Punk, well, you don't even know how John died because as you can see on the far left,
It was a dark and stormy night out in the New York City streets, man. Because I was investigating a crime of the woman that left her fucking husband. This city was full of criminals and ne'er-do-wells, and it was up to me to solve every single crime. Oh, yeah. I realized I couldn't solve this particular crime because the woman that got a divorce was my own wife. I guess I'm just a jagoff after all.
that's my competitive detective, Detective Gremlin. He's not on my team. He's a different detective of a different agency. I'm Detective Dip Shittington, and I need your help. Ponder says last time you were here, you did nothing. Sedgwick solved the case. Fuck Sedgwick. Listen, we've got a brand new detective agency. Didn't you see it? Are we ready for round 1 of the intuition game? Here's how it's going to go. The victims, all 4 Beatles. Each one of them killed in the exact same
I
way.
have a question. Is it considered wrong to eat celery?
I'll show you, you dumbass. I'm going to show you 2 suspects, and you're going to need to
I
use
have
your
a question. Is it considered wrong to eat celery?
you're going to need to use your intuition to tell me which of the 2 suspects did the crime. Can we get some I understands in the chat if you're ready to help me solve the murders of the Beatles? Forsaken understands. I'm getting a lot of I understands. I don't understand. One more time. Every time I see the Beatles in that image, it fucking kills me. Bram, what are you talking about? Okay, TC doesn't understand, so I'm going to explain it one more time. Here are the murder victims, all 4 Beatles. I'm going to read their names starting at the left, moving over to the right. John, Paul, Shart, and Ringo. Each one of them was...
I have a question. Is it considered wrong to eat celery?
Hey, keep it going.
Hey, Chris. Chris, we got a murder mystery, right? Don't make me get the Chris hammer. All right. One more time.
Hello, I am a robot. I like to eat Chinese food.
I don't care. I don't care what you eat. King Europe says, did anyone really like the Beatles? You tell me. I personally liked Shart. Was it one of those 4 suspects?
Wallace, Chester, Aaron, Alex.
No, it wasn't those. It wasn't any of them. It wasn't Wallace, Chester, Aaron, or Alex. They did not commit the crime. I haven't shown you the...
Chex Mix.
Shut the fuck up! Please, shut up! We're trying to solve a murder! Everybody calm the fuck down. I haven't shown you the suspect list yet. I haven't shown you the suspects yet. Sir, who
I'm
committed
the
this crime?
President,
I don't
baby.
give a fuck what you are. You're nothing to me. You're the president of nothing. I'm going to ask you to hone your intuition. Listen to your gut feeling and tell me which one do you think committed the crime. I need you to become one with your body, okay? Take some deep breaths. Dial in. Juice Springsteen asks, is this Blue Jay divorced? You're goddamn right. My wife left me for Detective Gremlin. And how do you think that made me feel? That's why Chris was rubbing it in my fucking face earlier. All right, everybody. Without further ado, suspect number one.
Hi, it's Aunt Barb. Just want to remind you to love one another.
All right, without further ado, I'm about to reveal suspect number one. Now, I need you to really look at these guys. Number one, Ethan Sinclair. Ethan Sinclair was found as a guy that maybe did it. He runs a fucking kiosk at a mall. He runs a kiosk at a fucking mall. And he's divorced. Next suspect, Dum Dum Fuck Fuck. Dum Dum Fuck Fuck is a sentient lollipop and is also divorced. It's got to be one or the other. Who committed the murder of the first Beatle? Is it Ethan Sinclair or Dum Dum Fuck Fuck? Most votes are for Ethan Sinclair with Dum Dum Fuck Fuck trailing on. Is it Ethan Sinclair? What does your intuition tell you? Is it Dum Dum Fuck Fuck? It is so Dum Dum Fuck Fuck, says Ram. I've never trusted Ethan since Lost. Joe says Dum Dum Fuck Fuck can't even hold a knife. Ethan looks like a psychopath. Never trust a guy in a polo shirt, says Fool Aloof. Use your intuition to accuse someone of wrongdoing. You've got seconds left to vote, but it looks like your collective consciousness is telling you that the murder of the first Beatle comes down to Ethan Sinclair. I'm getting a little buzz in my ear. Oh my God, I'm getting a buzz in my ear. Oh my God, I'm getting a buzz in my ear. A little birdie is telling me that we actually have CCTV footage of the murder. Can we get some ... to find out who the murderer of the first Beatle was, courtesy of the CCTV footage? Again, all 4 Beatles have been murdered. John, Paul, Sart, and Ringo. What happened to George? Dead. They're all dead. That's the whole point. They're all dead. The Beatles are fucking dead. Let's head over to the CCTV. We've got live footage of the murder. Was it Ethan Sinclair or Dum Dum Fuck Fuck? Let's find out. Oh my God. Oh my God. Oh my God. T says that was doctored footage. Free my man's Dum Dum, you heard me, says Nate the Grape. That ass though, says Zelda. How was he holding the knife? He's That's a great question. Jamie Long says it was a setup. Dum Dum was framed. He has no arms. Gingerbread Beauty says, does CCTV hold up in court? I don't even know what CCTV fucking is. Chat, do you think we need to see the footage again? I mean, it seemed pretty telling to me. Your intuition told you that Ethan Sinclair was the murderer. But it turns out it was Dum Dum Fuck Fuck. Shogundy says, I think we need to see that footage again. Hillary Clinton says, roll it back. With a knife to the fucking back. Let's take a look. Okay, we could have cut it before that part, to be honest. We could have cut it before that ending bit was a little much for me personally. So technically, we've lost the ability to win a giveaway because the whole point was if your intuition gets all of the murderer's correct, then you win. But let's change the rules. Let's change the rules. Okay, if you get 3 out of the 4, if you get 3 out of the 4 correct, we will do a giveaway. How does that sound, Chad? No Heel says, I missed it. Can we run back just the last second of the video? I'd like to run my fist into the side of your head, dumbass. Whale Thumb says, how do we know the knife was real? Well, I'm pretty sure the guy was bleeding out of the side of his back.
Hey, is this show over yet?
No, it isn't. Who murdered Paul from the Beatles? Really tap into your intuition on this one. Hone your gut feelings and follow what your instincts say. Our next suspects are Corey Buckley or Evil Grandma. Listen to your gut feelings and tell me who you think did it. A lot of people are saying Corey is going down, but don't forget her fucking name is Evil Grandma. Sometimes honing into your intuition means listening to the obvious. The dumb fuck lollipop threw a knife last time. I think we're fucked with intuition, pal. Well, listen, I think it's Sart. It can't be Sart because he's one of the Beatles. He's the third Beatle. John, Paul, Sart, and fucking Ringo. What happens when it's even? When it's even, I shoot myself. Has to be Corey, says Haley. Corey Buckley is an 11-year-old kid who loves playing Nintendo DS and hanging out on DeviantArt.com. Evil Grandma has already killed 17 other people with a knife. I guess I kind of buried the lead on that. I could have told you that sooner. Chat, you've chosen Evil Grandma. Your intuition is telling you that something about the Evil Grandma seems like she did it. Can we get some ... if you're ready to review the CCTV footage? Evil Grandma was the name of the punk band I was in college. Corey really liked the Emoji Movie. It's all he knows about Paul. Corey should still be taken for questioning. The dots are flying. Let's review the CCTV footage and see who stabbed Paul McCartney. This footage comes to us from the local, area. And it turns out it's been captured on film. Who murdered Paul McCartney? Let's take a look. It looks like it was Evil Grandma. As if, says Gingerbread Beauty. That's a dangerous alley. You know, some might wonder what the fuck are the Beatles doing in the alley? What are they doing just staring at a wall in the fucking alley? Who could have seen this coming? I cannot believe Corey dressed up like her to do the crime. Where's the frickin' Scooby crew? Well, there they are. There's your Scooby crew. How's this for a fucking Scooby crew? John McCartney, or whatever your fucking name is. John McCartney and Paul McCartney, rest in pieces, you pieces of shit. You folks got that right. That's good news. Damn, the Beatles were right when he said help. Check their phones. Who led them to that alley? Alan says, how long have you been a detective? Longer than my wife loved me, that's for sure. 2 years. 2 years. Last time I checked, Dip Shittington got shot in the fucking beak. Yeah. Well, I came back alive and well. I've been eating 2-3 odd Happy Meals a day. Look at my stomach. I survived based on Happy Meals. I did get shot, but I came back. And I've been eating 2-3 Happy Meals a day. They now have Sonic the Hedgehog toys in the fucking Happy Meal, by the way. And they're delicious. Chat, help me get my feet back on the ground. And can we get a quick RIP for all the Beatles who are all dead? Can we get a quick rest in peace for all 4 Beatles? John, Paul, Sart, and fucking Ringo. RIPs, I mean, really. They're just standing there staring at a damn wall, and then they get knifed in the back. You know, this reminds me of a little story. I once watched Across the Universe with my fucking ex-wife, and there's a scene in there where they put these strawberries all over the wall, and they paint them in red paint. Do you know the scene? And they're playing a song called Strawberry Fields Forever. Well, in some half-baked attempt at romance, when I was a younger man, I recreated that scene by purchasing a giant canvas, dipping strawberries in paint, tacking them to the canvas, red paint dripping off of them, while the strawberries spelled out the words, I love you. That's something I did for my ex-wife for Valentine's Day. This is actually a true story. And do you know what she got me for Valentine's Day? And this is not a joke. She got me a gift card to Jersey Mike's. She was a canary. Spectral Sybil, she was a canary. Unfortunately, she was a canary. How many days in advance? Like, how rotten were the berries by the 14th? I did it that morning, Enemy Mouse. So they were not rotten at all. Really flew the coop, huh? Spectral Sybil, not only did she fly the coop, she fucked my brother the next day. So, she gave me a Jersey Mike's gift card and then had sex with my fucking brother. Strawberry Fields forever, huh? Okay, great. Strawberry Fields. What a great one. I'm glad, you know what? Part of me is glad these fucking 4 jagoffs are dead. Look at John. Look at the look in his eyes. Fuck you, dumbass. Okay, getting back to the game. That was just a little aside. Getting back to the game. Hey, Dip, where the fuck were you during the murders? You got an alibi, bro? Yeah, I do. I was playing fucking Pittywinkel. I was playing a game called Pittywinkel, which is a lot like chess. And I played it all alone in my house with my shit down in front of a computer screen. And it took hours and hours and hours, so that's my alibi. Who killed Shart, the third Beatle? John Paul Sart. I'm sorry, Sart. Who killed Sart? We've got 2 suspects coming right up. Neon Sock says, Dip, you look like your dad is the Twitter bird. And you're 0-2 on cases tonight. Listen, chill the fuck out, Neon Sock. Okay? My dad is not the Twitter bird. My dad was a Red Robin, baby. And you know what they did to him? They cooked him, and they put him on a cheeseburger. And they served him. And they served him in front of me. They cooked him, and they served him on a fucking cheeseburger at a Red Robin, and they served it in front of me. I watched my father get cooked and eaten by Danny DeVito at a Red Robin. For Christ's sake, the guy wouldn't stop licking the patty, too. He kept licking the patty. He had his tongue out, and he's licking the patty like it's a fucking ice cream cone. Anyway, time for the next suspects. Listen to your gut feelings. Listen to your intuition. And tell me who you think is the murderer. Is it Michael Frontier or Pluck Stuckley? It can only be one. It can only be one. Michael is an aggressive fucker. Michael Frontier or Pluck Stuckley? Ram says Pluck is cooked. Pluck doesn't even have arms. That didn't stop the lollipop, admittedly. Another one without hands, says E-Bomb. What can you tell us about them? Well, Michael Frontier is a very wealthy businessman who loves eating different kinds of steak. And Pluck Stuckley is a very aggressive guy who sometimes is seen walking around the Cartoon Therapy office. As a matter of fact, he's in chat right now. He says, hey, I didn't do it. I don't know, most people seem to think you did. Michael will rot in a cell, says Mighty Narwhal. If I had it my way, they'd all rot in a cell, including my ex-wife, and everybody that worked at the Jersey Mike's that I spent 12 years crying into after the affair. Did one of them kill 17 people too, like the evil grandma? Remember, we're honing our intuition. So far, out of the previous 2 suspects, you've gotten 1 right. If you get 3 out of 4, I'll be doing a giveaway at the end of the show. Silly Girl says Pluck's got weird legs to clothe. Haley says Pluck looks like he did it on accident. Pluck should be plucking a chicken. Chris says, what's your Jersey Mike's order? I don't even really like going there, to be honest, because all the subs smell like my taint. Okatool says Pluck never misses the Gluck. It looks like you are all saying it's Pluck Stuckley. 37 votes for Pluck. Jesus Christ. Who killed Shart Beetle? Michael is a bully for sure, says Shadiu. Little known fact, Pluck Stuckley has a cloaca. If you're ready, I'd like to see some ... as we move to the CCTV footage to see whether Michael Frontier or Pluck Stuckley stuck the knife into Shart Beetle. Was it Pluck Stuckley? Show us now. Well done, everybody. You got that absolutely right. Pluck Stuckley was the murderer of Shark Beetle.
As the intuition game continues, I want to thank everybody. You guys are doing pretty well. That's 2 right, 1 wrong. If you can just get 1 more right, I think we're going to do a cartoon therapy giveaway. I'll give away a little mug or something like that. They were all murdered in the same way, in the same alley, and FARTED the same way. Yeah, it's weird how that happens. I mean, when you're close enough to someone, you know what I mean? When you're really close to someone, you die in the same way. I've always said that. When you're truly close to someone, you die in the same way. It's almost like, if you think about it, there's something drawing each one of these beetles to stare at that wall in this fucking alleyway in, I don't know, Burbank or wherever the Beatles are from, Abbey Road. They're all going to Abbey Road. Maybe someone should have investigated that when they did the very famous Abbey Road scene. Maybe we should have asked why. What's drawing them to that fucking road that they're staring like an idiot into the wall and people just keep coming up and throwing a knife into their back? Also, if I'm being honest with you guys, that story that Dip Shittington told about the Beatles in Strawberry Fields, that was true for me too. We share that. Dip Shittington and I share that exact same story about the Jersey Mike's gift card, and that's no joke. Chat, since we're talking about intuition, does your intuition tell you that you're going to get this next question of the suspects right or wrong? Does your intuition tell you that you're going to win or lose this intuition game? What are you feeling? What's that intuitive sort of a feeling? Enemy Mouse thinks yes. Slick says no. CJ says we're boned. Slick thinks we're losing. You kind of came out the gate. It was difficult coming out the gate because, to your guys' credit, really a lollipop. It was a surprise that a lollipop had a fucking knife. I will agree. Same location each time. I have a feeling I may get caught out on the final one, says Alan. Right or wrong? Such black and white thinking. The videos are even in black and white. How's that? I think it's time to move forward and figure this out, man. Are we going to get the dub or not? It's nice to see Dip Shittington back again. If you don't know, Dip Shittington is a detective blue jay, obviously with a complicated past of his very own as it relates to divorce. But he's took some time off. His hair is grayed a little bit, and he's here as a regular on the show. The suspense killing you, Alan. Should we get back to it, or should we freaking dick around for 20 more minutes? I got plenty to dick around with. Should we get back to it, or should we sit here and do this? Bing boom, bing boom, bing be boom, bing boom, bing boom, bing be boom.
Boom, 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 beam, ba boom. Boom, 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 beam, ba boom. Boom, 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 beam, ba boom. Boom, 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 beam, ba boom. Boom, 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 beam, ba boom. Fucking ba boom. Boom, 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 beam, ba boom. Boom, 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 beam, ba boom. Boom, boom, boom,
Fucking ba
Who killed the Beatles? Who killed the fucking Beatles? I said, who killed the Beatles? Who killed the fucking Beatles? I said. Honestly, guys, who do you think is gonna... I mean, we got so many beautiful suspects, so many characters that I think we'll see again on the show. But the important question is...
Yoko Ono killed the fucking Beatles, I said. Yoko Ono fucking killed the Beatles, I said. Yoko Ono killed the fucking Beatles, I said. Yoko Ono, she killed the fucking Beatles, I said. Yoko Ono killed the fucking Beatles, I said. Yoko Ono fucking killed the Beatles, I said. Yoko Ono killed the fucking Beatles, I said. Yoko Ono, she killed the fucking Beatles, I said.
You know what's funny? When I was a kid, not even really a kid, I once called and generally referred to my friend's girlfriend as Yoko Ono because I was jealous of the time that he spent with her instead of spending it with me. And I'm willing to admit that. And I said it to her face. And I said, you're Yoko Ono. You're Yoko Ono to me. You're Yoko Ono to me. And I was fucking 16. Like I had any clue what I was talking about. Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like I had half a clue what I meant by that. Let's continue with the intuition game, where you use your gut feeling, your intuition, to more or less determine who you think committed a murder. Can we get some dots in the chat if we're ready to head back to the dipshit detective agency and figure out who killed Ringo, the final beetle? If you get this correct, Cartoon Therapy will be sponsoring a giveaway of epic proportions. Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Please move on, please.
I was one step ahead of you, Hillary. Let's find out who killed Ringo.
I'm the shrimp president, baby.
Who killed Ringo?
Hello, everybody, and welcome back.
We will not succumb to the call of the river.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Dipshit Detective Agency.
I mean,
It's up to us.
I don't care.
Of the river.
I'm going to ask you really nicely to play along because it's a fucking fake world. It's fucking fake. I'm sitting here in a room. I'm just in my room. And we're trying to do detectives and we're trying to do birds. Why? Because I got this. Because I got this for a reason.
Yeah.
Because I got this for a reason.
Hammery.
Hey, I'm trying to change it up a little bit. I'm trying to do it differently. But I need
Please
your
move
help.
on, please.
No, I won't move on. I won't move on because it's my show. And I need your help to play along.
Hey, keep it going.
I need your help to play along. And if that means don't switch the scene when we go to the fucking detective, we need to pretend like it's a Blue Jay detective. Please, please, please.
Yeah.
Chopsticks with the Chinese food. Aye.
Oh, yeah.
Now, when we go over there, I don't want to see anybody changing the scene. Don't change the scene or I'm gonna get mean. Don't change the scene or I'm gonna get fucking mean. Don't change the scene or I'm gonna get mean. Hit the fucking thing.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the Dipshittington Dipshit Detective Agency. I'm Detective Dipshittington, and right now we're trying to solve the murder of
We
all
will
four.
not succumb to the call of the river.
I got a hot dog, but I could use some little ketchup packets. They're the little ketchup packets. They're the little ketchup packets. They're
Hey,
the
my brother,
fucking
you know
ketchup
I love
packets.
you,
They're the
baby, but I
fucking
gotta
ketchup
take a
packets.
piss.
They're
I'm
the
so
fucking
sorry.
ketchup
Hang on a
packets.
second.
They're the little ketchup packets. They're the little ketchup packets.
I'm sorry, brother.
Oh, yeah.
I'm sorry, my brother. I know. I'm sorry. There's more. I'm sorry. There's more. I'm sorry. There's more. There's more. All right.
Did you dip your hidden gem award in it? How do you think it got to be that color?
Be careful what you say, Scintilla. Be careful what you say. He dips me in piss 2 to 3 times a week, and people wonder why I'm homicidal. People wonder why I'm homicidal and I'm gonna kill because I need to escape. I need to get the fuck out of here. He keeps dipping me in piss.
Okay, everybody. Let's go back to the detective agency, please.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back. We've got a case to solve. Riot Pill says this is quality. Jemmy couldn't even kill the Beatles. How do I cancel my internet?
I'll be honest, I hate myself.
I got a hot dog, but I could use some
little ketchup packets. They're the little ketchup packets. They're the little ketchup packets. They're the fucking ketchup packets.
All right, everybody, remember, if you get this right, there will be a giveaway. All you need is 3 out of 4 in this intuition game. So far, we've seen Ethan Sinclair, Dum Dum Fuck Fuck, Corey Buckley, Evil Grandma, Michael Frontier, and Pluck Stuckley.
I got a hot dog, but I could use some
little ketchup packets. They're the little ketchup packets. They're the little ketchup packets. They're the fucking ketchup packets.
You gotta be mentally fucked if you're eating a hot dog with ketchup, Chris Mack. I don't think they're fucking Scintilla. Okay? We don't know that. We don't have confirmation
Shit,
on
man.
that. Please, 4chan Yanny, what you don't realize is when the shit man comes out, the entire office smells like fecal matter. I got fecal matter in my mouth. But I'm not worried about that because we're trying to solve the murder of the Beatles. All 4 of them. John, Paul, Shart, and Ringo. More insane says Dum Dum Fuck Fuck is innocent and we're not going to take it anymore. Well, he was not innocent. But here's how the game's going to work. We've got only 1 more left. I will show you 2 suspects. I'll show you a picture of one and then a picture of the other. We're asking you here at the detective agency to utilize your intuition to determine who killed Ringo. Can we get some ... for me to reveal the final 2 suspects?
Bling Globe.
Nope, it's not Bling Globe. I guarantee you it's not Bling Globe. He's not on the suspect list. The ... are flying. Here we go. Is it Catherine Six Shot? Or Mr. Yummy Mommy? Both found at the scene, but who threw the knife into Ringo Starr's back? This is a hard one, says Lemon Wedge. Mr. Yummy Mommy for sure, says Enemy Mouse. The poll is live right now. Vote in the poll. Use your intuition to guide you. Is it Catherine Six Shot?
Everything in my life is perfect.
Sorry. Or Mr. Yummy Mommy? Everyone seems to say it's Mr. Yummy Mommy. May I remind you to use your intuition. She does have a fucking gun, after all. Nismo says Mr. Yummy Mommy actually looks like they would use a knife in a dark alley. I need a Mr. Yummy Mommy for myself. Why would she stab someone if she has a gun? I guess that all... Won't you be surprised if... Won't you be surprised? Won't you be surprised if it... if it fucking turns out that it's... Won't you be surprised if it turns out it's the woman with a gun that throws a knife? I know, that would be crazy. That would be so stupid. The collective intuition of the chat said, Mr. Yummy Mommy. Let's go to the CCTV footage. Chat, can we get some ... as we move over to the CCTV footage and find out who killed Ringo Starr with a knife to the back? Keep in mind, it's a knife to the back, not a gun. So she had a gun. Can we play that again? What a twist. So she had a gun, but also had a knife. Let's take a look at that CCTV. Let's run that back one more time. So she had a gun, but also had a knife. Let's take a look. Oh, God. You know what, everybody? Theoretically, you just lost your chance at a giveaway. However, I'm feeling nice. Maybe, just maybe, there was a fifth beetle. Maybe, just maybe, George was a beetle after all. Should we open up the cold case file of who killed the fifth beetle and give you one more opportunity? More cracks has forsaken the beetle under the stairs, says silly girl. Harrison is the best beetle. Open the crack. Crack me up. I think there was definitely a fifth beetle. How many beetles need to die for this giveaway to happen? That's a great, great question. Chat, are you ready for the final round? Who killed the fifth beetle? Let's get some dots flying in chat. I love these fucking guys. I love these fucking guys. There's one more. And we've got two more suspects. I'm asking you to use your intuition. Think about all the stories you've heard today. Think about everything. And tell me which one of these two suspects committed the crime of murdering George Harrison, the fifth beetle. Is it Nate, he did it, axe murder? Nate, he did it, axe murder. Or is it our second suspect, Vance? It's gotta be one or the other. Is it Nate, he did it, axe murder? Or is it Vance, who killed George Harrison? Who did it? The poll is live. If you get this right, we will do a giveaway. If you get this wrong, Cartoon Therapy will end forever. Tell us about Vance, says Slick Waddle. Vance is smiling like he did it. Now we really test the community. Neon Sock says Vance confirmed for killing the Beatles because of the 2007 film Across the Universe. Could be two killers wielding two different weapons. He did it. Dip is a fan of a murderer? Not at all. We'll give away a Cartoon Therapy divorce hearing mug featuring some of the best art ever featured on this show. If you're correct, you said Vance is the murderer of George Harrison. Think about it, chat. Do you feel confident in this decision? Vance may not have killed the Beatles, but he has killed my afternoon of productivity with this shit. Lemon Curb says no. What does your intuition tell you? Are we right or wrong? Vance was framed, says Chewy. You guys, his name is He Did It. Come on now, says Vitamin Pug. Final answer. Yes, Slick Waddle. He did it, but what really is it? 4chan Yenny with the dots. Thinking didn't help. We're going with the gut. That is the theme of the day. Just because he is Mr. Axe Murder doesn't mean he had a knife. But if we think about it, Catherine Sixshot didn't seem to have a knife either, and yet she also did. Catherine Sixshot seemingly didn't have a knife, but then also did have a knife while also having a gun. We're trusting our intuition. You all said Vance is the murderer. Should we lock it in? Write lock in if you're ready to lock that in. Redo if you want to redo the vote. This is your final opportunity to win a Cartoon Therapy mug. Hillary Clinton locking it in. Chiwi says redo. A lot of lock-ins. Vitamin is saying redo. Most people are saying lock it in. Sour Skater wants a redo. Shad with a redo. Lock it in, says Forsaken Menu. Brit Sweet, lock it in. Alan, Ram, Yanni, lock in. I say it's time to head over to the CCTV footage to find out if your selection of Vance was correct. Let's go to the CCTV footage. You know, I never loved the Beatles, but I didn't necessarily want them to die. Are we ready? The ethics of this detective agency being called into question here. Well, it is called the Dipshit Detective Agency. Chat, are we ready? Without further ado, let's find out who killed George Harrison. fuck? Let's find out who killed the fifth beetle. Oh my God, please, please. Listen, be very careful now, because if you win this, if you see Vance on this screen, it means that there's going to be a Cartoon Therapy mug giveaway. God damn it. All right.
Oh, damn it, I
Please.
dropped my little glass of milk.
Please, I'm begging you. Now is not the time to drop your little glass of milk. Don't drop anything. This is the whole night was leading up to this. The intuition game. Is your intuition strong? Or are you a stupid moron, idiot, dumb, moron, idiot, stupid, moron? Moron, idiot, stupid.
Chocolate Chex Mix.
It's not funny. It's not even a joke. They're doing a drum hit, but there's no joke. Rudolph the Red-Nosed.
Nice shot.
Hey guys, be really, really careful, because this is really scary. We just want to find out who killed George Harrison, and then that's it. And we're pretty close. Okay? And we don't have to make it weird. We don't have to make it odd.
Now, if you got this correct, you will win a prize. If you got it wrong, Cartoon Therapy will be canceled forever. If we see Vance on this screen, you win. If you see Nate, okay, Jesus Christ, alerts are off. Alerts are off. Rudolph the Red-Nosed.
Nice shot.
Okay, alerts are off, god damn. How did that poke through? Let's find out who killed George Harrison. Thank you, everybody, for playing the intuition game. Rest in peace to the Beatles. John, Paul, Shart, Ringo, and of course, George Harrison, the fifth Beatle. I've been Detective Dip Shittington. We're very grateful for your viewership. Very, very grateful for all of your support. Will there be any punishment for these crimes? No. Because I too hate the Beatles, I guess, due to my Jersey Mike story. So we're going to go ahead and let them go. In fact, quite the opposite of punishment, there's a prize. Your intuition actually ended up being pretty good. You got 3 out of 5. We'll take it. Thanks again for being a part of the fucking agency, and my card isn't working.
Exclamation enter to be entered to win this divorce hearing mug. This is a beautiful design. Thanks to you listening to your intuition or something, we were able to come to this beautiful conclusion of who killed George Harrison. And I guess it was me all along. I didn't want to tell you guys, but I have also wanted to get revenge against the Beatles for the whole Valentine's Day story that me and Dip Shittington share in common. So I had to take out George. I'm sorry. Sorry, hashtag sorry, not sorry, I killed George Harrison. Okay? Hashtag sorry, not sorry, I killed George Harrison. Alan says, why George of all the Beatles? He was the last one alive. Enemy Mouse says, somewhere, all 5 Beatles are looking down and smiling. Thursday's going to be a good show. We got an action-packed show. Gush in the Discord in the Gush Buddies section about the thing that you love and you're obsessed with, and we're going to have a new little situation and get into that. See you next time. Cartoon Therapy. Don't say yes when you mean no. Stay animated and let it flow. Trust your intuition, but maybe more importantly, learn to regulate your nervous system. Calm down a little bit. Get some inner quiet so that you can hear your intuition in the first place. Remember, that's the difference between anxiety and intuition, a regulated nervous system. Give yourself some love today. I'll see you again on Thursday. Thanks for laughing, learning, and loving with us here on Cartoon Therapy. Wouldn't be who we are without every one of you. Thank you very much.